Dear brothers and sisters, maybe we should start with some of the questions. People have questions, we get them from all over the world. We try to address a few of them, so we all gain in the process. So let's address some of the questions that we got this week.
How can we improve our focus during meditation?
When we are doing day-to-day activities, then we seem to focus on what we want to focus on. A good example would be something like we all go out for a cup of coffee or a meal with some of our friends. And we end up in some restaurant or some coffee shop. And there's a whole bunch of people there. But we get a table. It could be 2 people, it could be more than 2, a whole group of friends. And we get it on the table and then we talk. And when we're talking, we're listening very carefully to who we are talking to. Because even though there could be, let's say, 20 tables in that restaurant or 50 tables in the restaurant, and everyone's talking and it looks very noisy as you enter. But when you sit down, you can talk to your friends, you can listen to them, they can listen to you. And so we train ourselves that the disturbances which are happening around us are not bothering us. We have to train ourselves to do the same thing as we meditate. Yeah. As we meditate, we know that the mind is going to send thoughts to us. That's a known fact. That the thoughts are going to keep on coming to us. The key is to train ourselves so that as we get the thoughts, we kind of ignore them. Yeah. We have 2 options. One is like we listen to the thoughts, and then if you listen to the thoughts, then you get entangled in your focus being on the thoughts, and so you're not gonna be able to meditate. And the second thing is to train yourself to let the thoughts keep on going on. But that your focus is in the right direction. Now your focus is in trying to see or experience the light of God. And to help you be able to focus well is where the repetition of these holy names comes into play. So the repetition of the holy names is given to us so that the power of our mind is used to repeat these names. Okay? And so with practice, as we practice during the day, as we practice day after day for weeks and months, we can get to a state where all the power of the mind just is focused on repeating God's name. Then the source of the thoughts, which is the mind, is not going to have the power to send thoughts to us. So the key is to get to that state where no thoughts are coming to us. In the meantime, we need to train ourselves. Let's say we can only get 50% of our power to go to the repetition of the names, and 50% of the power we haven't trained ourselves enough is sending thoughts to us. Then we need to train ourselves, okay, the thoughts are coming, let them come. We're not going to think about them, we're not going to focus on them. Our attention is going to be in watching what is unfolding in front of us. So it's a question of training ourselves that in an atmosphere which is distracting, that we can concentrate. And so that comes with practice and that comes with time. And so as we practice more and more the repetition of 5 names when we are not meditating, and as we repeat those names during activities which are not mental, we don't need our mind to be involved in them. When we do a lot of physical work, then our systems get to a place where we start to use all the power of the mind to focus on the repetition of the names of God, and our attention is 100% into seeing. The more our attention is into seeing, the better experiences we're going to have. So if we're only 50% attention on seeing and 50% going into watching the thoughts, then that's bad. Now, if the thoughts are going on and we just ignore them, it's okay. Let the thoughts come, they're going on, we're not focusing on them. Just like in a restaurant, there's noise going on, or people at the other table are talking too. And many times you get to restaurants, most of the time, there'll be one group which is very boisterous. This happens, but we ignore them. We don't walk out, we don't say, no, no, I'm not going to come here. But we ignore them. Why we've trained ourselves to ignore that. We are focused on our conversations with those that we came to the restaurant with. So the same thing with meditation. We want to focus on experiencing the light. The light of God is within ourselves. And so the key is to train ourselves so that in an area where there will be distraction, the thoughts are a distraction, our focus remains on the divine light.
How can we accept and deal with the process of aging?
Age is connected with the physical body. And the physical body is a machinery. So all mechanical instruments are going to have difficulties with time. Let's say you have a machine which is running. Even a good example is the cars. We all own cars, right? So you can drive them for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. Now for us to drive a car for 30 years and think that there'll be no problem with the car, it can only happen if either we have taken all the precautions, fine-tune it, and we do all the other things. Even then, troubles are going to come somewhere along the line. So same thing happens with the physical body. So the key is to know that the physical body is going to deteriorate with physical age. Okay? Doesn't mean that we are deteriorating, it's the body which is deteriorating. So we should try our very best to keep the body as fit as possible, because when there's difficulty in the body, it distracts us. Let's say there's pain in the body. Let's say this is something very common as we age. Knee pain is very common. Okay? Now, if you have knee pain, it's going to bother you. As you walk, it bothers you. As you sit down to meditate, it bothers you. So that's not good, because it keeps on from meditation. So what we need to do is we need to try to give the body the best kind of fuel that we can. Okay? And that's where a vegan diet is recommended, a plant-based diet is recommended these days. All the doctors saying, hey, these are the best kind of foods you can put in your system. Okay? Even though there's a lot of junk vegan food these days too. So you have to be careful. Just because it says vegan and gluten-free doesn't mean it's healthy. Okay? So you have to be careful what you're eating. But I think they say put the best kind of fuel, exercise, so that the body is fit and fine. And do your very best to keep the body fine. Now, some people say, okay, it's hereditary that you got, let's say, asthma. Your dad had it, their dad had it, or your mom had it or something. Can't help that, but you can make your life better by trying to eat the right kind of food, trying to exercise, trying to get the medication that will help you, and all other things. Yeah. So age, I don't think we need to worry about age. We all have to embrace age. And so as we age ourselves, and as our loved ones are aging, what we need to do is to encourage ourselves and to encourage the ones that we love who are aging to try to keep the physical body as fit and fine as they can. Now, research today is telling us that when you meditate, it gives you calmness in the body. Just like food is necessary, physical exercise is necessary, and sleep is necessary for the body. Because it's when we sleep that the parts of the body which we mess up as we walk around and as we do all these things on a daily basis, they get rest and they recover and they start to work again the next day and they work the next day. So sleep is very important. whether you sleep for 8 hours or whatever is suiting you. So along with the food and the exercise, the sleep is the third thing that we will talk about. So we need to understand that as we are aging, that the research today is telling us that people who meditate, they are giving rest to the physical body also, along with the spiritual experiences and the flights of the soul. And because the process of meditation is to calm us down, okay, which is what is happening at sleep. And so when we get into deep states of meditation, we're resting the body very nicely so that it recovers much faster. And so as we meditate, the physical body is going to be working better. Okay? So I think we need to encourage our loved ones, those we're close to, generally in our life, our parents first will age and then only we're going to age with time too. That we all keep our physical body as fit and fine as we can. Okay? We focus on the spiritual aspects of our meditation because that is the key of our existence. But to deal with aging, we definitely focus on our meditative practices so that the body gets the rest so that it can recover well, can deal with whatever physical activity we have to do on a day-to-day basis. So embracing aging is what is needed, and not to be worried about aging. Okay? We know one day this physical body is going to stop to work. That we know. Like all machines end up stopping one day. Okay? But we want to make it work as well as it can till it stops. And so, along with the exercise and the food and the rest, meditative practices definitely help us deal with the aging process much better.
How can we handle intense spiritual experiences during meditation?
When we meditate, we are having spiritual experiences. And in the beginning, we have experiences of flashes of lights and sky, stars, moon, sun, and other experiences. And so sometimes those feel normal to us. And then with time, as we get into deeper and deeper states of meditation, we might have experiences which are difficult for our mind to understand. Or maybe it happens for the first time. And let's say there's a whole gust of light that is coming. Okay? And all of a sudden, boy, the light is like blowing you away. And you're feeling you're like soaring into the inner regions. And as you soar, maybe it's a full, burst of all kinds of things that you've never experienced before. Okay. So when you have a deep experience like that, then the mind is not used to it, might get scared. So the key is to understand that as long as we are practicing the meditative practices as has been told to us, as we are doing our Simran properly, when we are watching the divine light, any experience that we have is guarded, is protected. No experience which is not right for us can happen to us, because the Simran or the repetition of the holy names is a protection that is keeping us going to our goal in a state in which nothing wrong can happen to us. Okay? So when an experience happens which is different than what we're used to, then we need to understand that, hey, this is good for me also. And then as we enhance our meditative practices, we'll be having more and more of those deeper experiences, and the mind will feel comfortable with them. Anything that the mind is not comfortable with becomes like a painful thing for us, because the mind is trying to deal with things which it is used to. So when something comes which is not used to, which is a very deep meditative experience, the mind all of a sudden gets jolted. Oh, is this correct? Is it good for me? Is it not good for me? You've never had it before. And the key is to be able to understand that the repetition of those experiences will make our mind more comfortable. And then all the experiences that we have, nothing's going to bother us.
What can we do if we feel left out or not accepted by others?
There are times when we feel like an outsider. There are times if we move from one arena to another, that it takes a while for us to be assimilated in the new environment. But generally what happens is, we as human beings like it within ourselves when we can put the blame on someone else. We as human beings don't want to put the blame on ourselves. Okay? So many times the people who complain about they are not accepted are the ones who recluses themselves. Okay? So it's very easy for someone to say, oh, this person is not making me comfortable. But how are we dealing with that person ourselves? We need to take a look at that. We need to look at how we behave with someone. Are we open? If we are expecting something, do we give something in return? Okay? And if we're always blaming, okay, this person is not liking me, okay, or that person is not liking me. So if all the people around us we feel are not liking us, then there's something wrong with us. We need to look at what is it that we are doing to make them feel uncomfortable. We should put ourselves in their shoes and see, are we behaving with them in a manner in which is congenial for them to behave with us? Are our responses fine with them? Are we accepting them in our own being? Or we are always there to take and say, my way, and this is, and we keep on just thinking, oh, because they are different from my way, they don't agree with my way, then I don't need to relate to them, but I want to complain about it. Okay? So I think mostly we as human beings don't introspect. We think we know everything about the other person, and we think we know how they are thinking, even though they haven't said anything, but we think that we know how those guys are thinking and how they're going to behave, because in our head we have made these preconceived notions. Okay? So the key is to introspect yourself. See, are you a person who's inviting? Are you a person who someone would like to talk to? Are you a person who, when you're with them, you bring some joy in their life, some happiness in their life, you will talk about some positivity, or are you a person who's always saying this is wrong and this is wrong and this is wrong and fix this and fix that? Who's going to like you? So parents have to be loving to the children for children to respond to them properly. And parents in their head might think, I'm fixing the problem. Okay? The parents might think that I'm trying to make the child better, but if all the time the parents are only looking at the negativity and doesn't even encourage the kid will never gonna come out and be like a good human being. That child will think that they're like oppressed all the time. And so it's the same thing with an individual. It's like as an individual, we need to look at how is it that we deal with someone else. Okay? Be happy in what you have. Don't keep on complaining, this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong. And just put the blame on someone else. Because all these people who are saying, I'm not being welcome, are the ones who are really, you don't want to be with them actually. Because they don't look at themselves, because they behave so badly with others. So people say, yeah, why should I waste my time with this person? After a while, if they're related to you, then they'll stand it for a while. But if they're not, then after a while, everyone, how much time do we meet with someone else, okay? For 8, 10 hours we're sleeping, right? We go to work, And there we meet a few people for some work. A lot of people now working from home. They don't even go out. Okay. So how much time do you really spend with people? Maybe half an hour a day, maybe an hour, and that too, everyone's doing this and that. And in that time also, if all you're talking about is this problem and that problem, so what is coming out of that conversation? This life is given for us to be happy. This life is not given to us to complain and complain and complain. Because complaining doesn't solve anything. One, it makes the person who you're complaining to feel bad. Two, it's making you feel bad because you're thinking, oh, I'm giving so many good suggestions, no one's taking it. So we need to look at ourselves and say, how are we behaving with people? Am I a person who is accepting others? Or I want others to accept me, but on my terms. That's the problem. We want to be accepted on our own terms, and our terms might not be correct because we are not looking at ourselves properly. And our terms are my way or the highway. That's the problem. So if the person really wants to live a life nicely themselves and for their loved ones, they should take a good look at themselves. And it's only then that they realize that they are the ones who are the troublemakers actually. They're the ones who create the problems in those situations. They are the ones who need to fix themselves. Most people are very good at heart. People are not conniving that they want to like all the bring trouble to your life. They have enough troubles of their own. But we think, oh, this person is bringing this problem to me, this person is bringing this problem to me, that person is bringing this problem to me, and then we keep on kind of blaming others and say, oh, we are not being accepted. So I would say one should take a good look at themselves. One should understand that sometimes there's some karmic reaction that are bound to happen. I mean, not everyone gonna be on the same wavelength as we are. It's gonna be different wavelengths. Not everyone gonna agree with what we say. It's okay. We live in a very diverse world. People have different feelings. People have different thoughts. People, do different ways of doing things. We need to be okay with them and say that's okay. It's not the end of the world. If it's their karma to be going one way, we can try our very best to fix them. They may be think something else. We need to fix ourselves before fixing someone else. I think that's the key. If we behave like a very model person with all the good characteristics that God wants us to have, then everything around us is going to be good. If we're peaceful ourselves, if we're calm ourselves, we're loving ourselves, we're caring ourselves. Just like Sant Singh Ji Maharaj, he was very strict in his teachings. He said, mind your own business. Why are we dwelling into business of someone else? Fix yourself. Have your pathway go to God. Don't worry about other guys. Just fix yourself. Because every time you're trying to fix someone else, you've taken time from fixing yourself. And you've hurt yourself. So you think you're doing a good job, but you're hurting yourself. Because the time is just limited. And so he was very, very straightforward in the teachings. Mind your own business. And those people who are focused on trying to fix themselves are the people who are going to get to their goals. Otherwise, life goes like this and like that, and your time is gone, you haven't done what you should for yourself, and then the time comes and the physical body says, okay, this is it, I'm going. And then, what's going to happen to you, you don't know at that time. So the key is to not complain that I'm not being accepted. The key is to look at ourselves and see, why am I not being accepted? And if you really look at it, it's ourselves who are in a state where we don't accept others because we want others to behave with us in the manner we want to behave. And that's the big problem. So let us meditate for a few minutes. Please sit as comfortably as you can. Please close your eyes very gently. Like we close them when we go to sleep. Our eyeballs should be straight, focus 8 to 10 inches in front of us. As you close our eyes, those of us who've been initiated in the mysteries of the beyond, let us do a Simran. Those of us who are new here, please repeat any name of God that you feel comfortable with. The repetition of God's name should be done mentally and not out loud. I pray to God Almighty to help each and every one of us connect with the divine power within and to experience the divine light in its effulgence. We'll be sitting for a few minutes. It's my prayer to the three great spiritual masters of the past century, Hazur Baba Sawan Singh Ji Maharaj, Param Sant Gopal Singh Ji Maharaj, and the Alpurush Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj, to help each and every one of us connect with the divine power and to be able to soar in the regions beyond. We'll be sitting for a few minutes. I'll be getting out of this meditative state, and my best wishes are with each and every one of you. Please leave off. Please leave off.